Throughout recent history, burnout has become a growing problem in the workforce, more distinctly, those who work in jobs that require FIFO and DIDO. Hello there, my name is Valida Takafa, and I'm here to discuss the ongoing issue of burnout and its impacts on the FIFO/DIDO industry. This presentation will include not only the discussion of burnout and its effects on FIFO/DIDO industry, but the likely causes of burnout, as well as theories that may be linked to this issue and possible strategies that can be implemented by the organization to reduce the risk of burnout with the use of different theories and scholarly literature. Burnout is common throughout various workplaces and can be defined in numerous ways. The study found that burnout is a state of mental exhaustion due to prolonged exposure to work-related stresses. Burnout contains three main components, which include exhaustion, cynicism, and inefficacy. According to Maslach and Jackson, exhaustion is a state characterized by physical fatigue and a sense of feeling emotionally and psychologically drained. Another component of burnout is cynicism, which Anderson and Bateman suggest that cynicism can be found as disillusioned, frustrated, and negative attitudes towards an institution, group, or person. The third aspect of burnout would be inefficacy, which according to Michelidides and Banks states that it is a state in which a worker believes they are unable to perform the job to an appropriate standard, and thus loss of one's confidence in their abilities. In the workplace, it is imperative that organizational owners must be able to identify burnout, as it ensures that workers are able to carry out tasks to a high level. As studies suggest, job burnout has been found to have many dysfunctional outcomes, such as absenteeism, turnover, and low job performance. The general effects of burnout can impact a person mentally and physically. Burnout is a result of stress, and consumption of food was used as a coping mechanism. As research suggests, fast food consumption, infrequent exercise, alcohol consumption were all found to have positive association with levels of burnout. Burnout is not only the effects of health, but also the dysfunction of socializing, and its spread to various aspects of life. The feeling of depersonalization and unhappiness with task completion in the workplace can lead to a person to be frustrated and angry, as a result experiencing issues in one's immediate environment and family. Therefore, it is important to address the burnout, as it can lead to issues to a person's health, but also impact to the workplace environment and the manner in which a task is carried out. The chosen theory that can explain the antecedents of burnout would be job demand resource theory. According to Jacobson, job demands refers to physical, psychological, social, or organizational aspects of the job that require sustained physical and psychological efforts or skills. Many jobs require workers to keep high levels of involvement and completion of tasks over a prolonged time, and when the process is expected to be repeated constantly, can be a leading cause of burnout. Researchers stated if an employee is exposed to hard job demands over a long period, whether hindrance or challenging demands, it will inevitably lead to physical and mental exhaustion. It is evident that job demands resources theory is used to explain a person's psychological well-being influenced by the workplace. As quoted by Lay, the JDR model vigorously predicts how job demands diminish individuals through an essential impairment process that results in stress and burnout. High levels of demands can impact the abilities of workers as well as their well-being. With high demands, it may lead to stressful thinking and many psychological difficulties, which study shows put forward that high job demands are correlated with low levels of employee well-being due to the effect like stress and burnout. As it has been shown that main causes of burnout is the high level of demand, but also maintaining this work over a prolonged time, which leads to exhaustion to the body physically and mentally, or in this case, burnout. FIFO and DIDO workers are expected to work very long hours, as well as very physically draining jobs. These factors come into account with the high demand of work, but also FIFO and DIDO workers mostly work in remote areas far from home, which means limited access to family and familiar resources, which is another factor that should be taken into consideration with the effect of burnout. It was also reported that workers found it difficult to adjust their responsibilities and on and off shifts. Furthermore, the development of psychological distance between partners and workers had a large effect on their relationships. To conclude this presentation with a few suggestions as to how organizations may come about preventing burnout with workers would be lowering the amount of workload for FIFO and DIDO workers. One strategy that can help prevent the risk of burnout could be taking a break. As quoted by Aurora, studies show that taking breaks can help prevent decision fatigue, renew and strengthen motivation, increase productivity and creativity, and consolidate memory and improve learning. This may be a simple strategy, but it's also very effective, as it is a time to allow the body to recover mentally and physically and prepare to continue the task at hand. Another possible way to prevent burnout is high quality interpersonal relationships, which could include the relationship between workers as well as supervisors, which can be effective as it can increase job satisfaction. The final strategy that would be useful for organizations of the FIFO industry would be to ensure workers are given frequent access to their families, friends, and personal lives. As research has shown, strategies deemed useful for mitigating problems associated with the FIFO work patterns include maintaining effective communication with partners and receiving emotional and practical support from family members, neighbors, and other FIFO families. This ensures that workers are able to keep a clear mind when carrying out work and increases the possibility of performing to a high standard. As a result, it is evident that burnout is an issue that must be monitored by organizational owners, or in this case, those of the FIFO-DIDO industry. It is important to prevent burnout as it ensures that workers will be able to work efficiently and up to standard, as well as being healthy mentally and physically. Research has shown that burnout is possibly caused by overloading amounts of work over a prolonged time. Furthermore, burnout can be seen and linked through the use of job demands theory, which also leads to the finding of a few suggestions to prevent burnout, which include taking breaks, building interpersonal relationships with fellow workers, and being able to see or hear from family, friends, and even relatives to help prevent the risk of burnout.